We're in the education business, educate students, talk to them about it, the impact and what they do and the lasting effects of it, how things that are off campus or out of our school day affect the school day, have clear and concise policies that deal with these situations, but really educate the families, educate the students, and let them know about the impact and the lifelong impact that post or that issue could have for them.
You're listening to the smartsocial.com podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ochs. This is our District Talk segment where we interview district leaders to learn how they're keeping students safe on social media so those students can someday shine online. Now, let's get back to the interview.
Hello, I'm Tim Powers. I'm the head of school at Pinkerton Academy. We are located in southern New Hampshire in Derry. We have about 3,000 students in grades 9 through 12. On one campus that has about 18 academic buildings and almost 200 acres of land.
How has the prevalence of technology in the classroom impacted student learning and engagement?
Technology in the classroom has enhanced learning, just like the calculator did years ago. It made us be able to calculate things quicker and get deeper understanding and go further. Technology is doing the same thing, giving us answers and resources at our fingertips that allow us to dive deeper in learning and get a greater understanding, close gaps, personalized learning for all students so that they're able to find the areas that they need to have success in. Where are they strong? Where are they weak? And as an instructor, it really allows you to target those areas quickly.
Excellent. Great answer. Second question I have for you. How can school districts deal with social media issues that might originate on a social media app, but then create a very real problem later that day or Monday morning on campus?
One of the big things is we're in the education business, educate students, talk to them about it, the impact and what they do and the lasting effects of it, how things that are off campus or out of our school day affect the school day, have clear and concise policies that deal with these situations, but really educate the families, educate the students, and let them know about the impact and the lifelong impact that post or that issue could have for them.
Can you provide some examples of how your students may have used their social media in a positive or productive way that may have benefited themselves or their community?
Students have really gotten engaged in it with their clubs, their athletic teams, in creating positive messages. They see it themselves and see the negativity and see the attacks on whether it's each other or others just in general in the public. And they've really taken an approach on some of their accounts, the team accounts or the club accounts, of promoting the positive messages, whether it's about their games or their events or about mental health and about supporting each other in those areas and letting them know what the resources are so that they can reach out and get the help that they need.
In the age of one-to-one that we live in, how are you preparing students for positive technology use both in the classroom and at home?
Digital citizenship is such a huge piece of how we work with students in the one-to-one technology piece, and it's got to be embedded throughout all of our curriculum, not just a single, you take this one half credit course and it satisfies the tech requirements for graduation, that it is something that's embedded in every class, that digital citizenship and what it means, what it is, and how they're a big part of it is one way that we really work with students.
How have you been successful in increasing parent engagement to help keep students safe on social media?
Engaging parents is a challenge. Everyone's so busy right now in their lives, but one way we've tried to work with it is meet them where they are. And the parents and what they use has changed. And a lot of it's on Facebook, but now it's even more so parents are on Instagram and other platforms. So it's meeting them there and sharing the information with them in those forums and on those platforms so that they can see it, as opposed to the old, just we're going to have an assembly and everyone's going to show up, or we're sending a mass email. We still utilize those when appropriate, but also meeting them on the platforms to share that information with them.
Are there any stories that might come to mind about any social media incidents that you've been able to get in front of or avoid by being proactive?
So getting ahead of the messaging is such a critical piece. We had an incident a couple of years ago where a candidate was talking about litter boxes in the classroom and saying students were using them, things like that. Our director of communications put together a letter and a press release. We sent it out to all the media outlets, pushed it out on social media about what we do and what our expectation is with students. It really shut that down. So one thing we've really worked on is over communicating and really sharing our message consistently on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis about what we do, what our expectations are. And that's really helped to allow everyone else to share when they hear things, say, no, that's not what they do. That's not an academy. That's not education in our area.
Yeah, you're kind of building a brand around the actions that you have, and people start to then see fake news or maybe a deep fake of you saying something like, that doesn't sound like the head of school that we know. So that's great.
Correct. Right.
Okay, excellent answer. Now, what would your advice be to other educators and other administrators to work together to create a culture of digital safety and responsibility in their schools?
My advice would be to have clear policies, procedures of what you're going to do. Have your core tenets, your core values that you have throughout everything. Have that be a big part of it. For us, it's courtesy, respect, responsibility. So we embed that in everything we do. So it's not a one-off that we're just doing this because it is a digital citizenship or digital literacy piece. Those are our three core tenets, and everything we do revolves around that. So whatever it is for you yourself or for your school or your community, make that a part of what it is so that that messaging is all has those common ties. So someone doesn't have that piece where they think it doesn't really apply to me here, but this piece does. But if there's a connection, then they know everything does apply.
Yeah, I love that. Even the world's best businesses, organizations are doing exactly what you said. How does it come back to our core values, what we believe, what we do? Love that. Now, let's talk about this. What is your biggest social media concern for the future?
Biggest social media concern for the future is privacy, data security. Those are just two big things. And the other part is really the unknown. Where is it going next? What's going to be, whether
Yeah.
it's that next platform, the next tool, how is it going to be used? So it's a concern. It's also an exciting thing. It continues to evolve and to change. But I think the biggest thing is really just data privacy and student privacy and individuals' privacy there, and what people are sharing online that we would never have shared years ago, and then making sure that they realize once they share it, it's out there, you can't take it back.
Yeah, and so true. So such a reasonable concern. I agree. Now, funding is difficult across the country. What advice would you give to other school districts, other schools to secure funding to create the resources that parents need?
Funding is a challenge, you always look for grants, look for other sources of funding. But I think one of the biggest things for me is reallocation of funds. Like we have a pot of money, and maybe it grows a little bit every year, but it doesn't grow a lot. So we have to reallocate the resources that we have. And one thing I would say is show me your budget and I'll tell you your values. So when I look at my budget, I'm going to see where I'm allocating funds, and that's the values that we have as a school. And year over year, some of the reallocation may shift from one area to the next, but those are our values and that's what we're getting after. So we really look at how do we reallocate the funds that we have.
Such a great line. Show me your budget, I'll show you your priorities. Some supers are saying, superintendents. We're going to talk about AI and Chat GPT. First question. How is your school district approaching AI tools like Chat GPT?
We've embraced AI tools. We put policies in place last spring so that we were able to utilize them this year. We've used them in math classes with our freshmen with Conmigo so that they're able to use it there. We use it in our English classes, and they can use it, obviously following all the guidelines and laws of when they can and age appropriateness and that. They have to cite it. And we tell them, like, if you're going to use it, you cite it. You also need to check your references, make sure that that's all the information is correct. If you don't check your references, you could be using some false information in there.
Now let's talk about the positive sides of AI and Chat GPT. Are there any positive use cases that you've heard of from students, teachers, educators, or even your leadership staff around Chat GPT?
There's been a lot of positives with ChatGPT for use in the classroom with teachers. They can just type in a quick little prompt that they're stuck or they want to redo an exit ticket or an intro to a particular lesson. So they're able to do that, generates it really quick, and then they adapt it to their style. I notice sometimes with writing that you get stuck and you just like, I need some ideas or I need an outline for something that I have to present on. You type in, they give you an outline, and then you're able to run with it. So a lot of it's been how can we do things quicker so that we can do some more of that deep thinking and really spend our time in the areas that we really need to spend the time.
Yeah, and I think that's the $1,000,000 answer is how can humans do the high value work and how can AI lay that out?
Correct.
Absolutely. Okay, last question about this one. With regards to tools like ChatGPT, are you changing any of your techniques for grading students and the types of assignments being used in the classroom?
Yeah, this is one where I think it's exciting. We've grown and adapted so much this year alone, and it looks like it will continue with how quickly it is. Students have to be able to express and think and explain. You can type a prompt into ChatGPT or any other AI bot. They can give you an answer, but do you really understand it? So it's taking it to that next level, how showing through, whether it's through a presentation, through an experiment, taking that information and diving deeper and being able to reteach others what it is to show. So that's a way that we've used it in the classroom. And then looking at other ways of how quickly can we grade things, or can we look at the trends of answers that students are giving. So that way we are able to really zone in on a particular area that they may be struggling in, whether it's in a particular class or across a set of classes, and really target our instruction aids out there.
Thanks for listening to our smartsocial.com podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ochs. This was our District Talk segment where we interview school district leaders to learn how they're keeping students safe on social media so those students can someday launch into their future by shining online. This episode was brought to you by our smartsocial.com VIP program. It's called the Very Informed Parent Program, which helps you engage your students with teen-led video lessons. Stay one step ahead with our premium parent newsletter and discover hidden features on trending apps on teens' phones and our 54 plus live parent and student-friendly events every single year. You can click on the link below to chat with one of our team members if you want a free pass to our VIP program to support your community with our smartsocial.com resources. And if you're a district leader who has a success story, we would love to feature you on a future episode. You can click the links below to reach out. Thanks so much for listening, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Have a great day.